Hello everybody. So I wanted to talk a little bit about how the mind works and why a lot of us are experiencing the same thing over and over and over again. So the mind is composed of the conscious mind and the subconscious mind. The conscious mind is sort of like the gatekeeper, and it pretty much decides what gets into the subconscious mind and what does not. So how does it decide what goes back to the subconscious mind? It pretty much decides based off of past programming, and it also decides based off of, what it actually who it actually thinks you are. So the subconscious mind is kind of like the powerhouse of the mind. It pretty much stores everything that's ever happened to you. It pretty much stores like anything that's important. So especially everything that you learn from the ages of 0 to 8 years old, all of those beginning programs, it holds all of that. So in order to change what you're going through now, and before I get there, okay, so most of us are experiencing the same situations over and over and over again, whether it be in terms of money, whether it be in terms of relationships. We're pretty much experiencing the same thing. I mean, I look back at my past and I remember a lot of the guys that I dated, and a lot of them all seem to be very similar. I would get in one relationship, certain things would happen, we would break up, and then I'd get into another relationship. It seemed like the same thing happening over and over and over again. And this is because of the programs in the subconscious mind. It's the same thing with money. We have a job, and then we're like, I want to make more money. How do I make more money? So maybe you get a new job, you're making a little bit more money, but then somehow you end up getting right back to where you were before, back to making that little bit of money that you were making before. Now, if you want to change this and be able to manifest the relationships that you want, the amount of money that you want, the health that you want, all of these things, you have to change the subconscious mind. You have to pretty much reprogram the mind and place in the subconscious mind those programs that you want to see in your outer world. But you have to get them past the gatekeeper. You have to get them past the conscious mind. This is the most important thing, getting them through that. Now, there are some things that you could do to get the information, the new information, past the gatekeeper, past the conscious mind, to the subconscious mind. But first, I wanted to point out that all of us have an ego. The ego is like the negative thinker. It's always telling you, oh, you can't do this. Oh, don't do that. Don't try that. You're going to fail. People are going to laugh at you, or pretty much anything negative that you can think of. The ego is pretty much in your mind telling you all these things. I think back to movies that I used to watch. You would see like like the little angel on one side, and then on the other side of the shoulder you would see the devil or whatever. It's kind of like that. Like the ego is kind of like the devil side, and it pretty much, it's there to protect you, and it wants to keep you the same. It wants to keep everything the same. So it kind of will try to hold you back from doing anything new. So if you try to do something new, it's going to say, no, stop. Oh my God, you're going to get hurt. Don't do that. It wants to try to protect you. Now, a lot of times it's not protecting you. It's really not. It's actually harming you, because it's telling you that you can't do something, but really you can. You are capable. So the conscious mind, the ego is in the conscious mind. So, and the conscious mind is very limited. It doesn't think very big. Now, the subconscious mind is absolutely unlimited, and anything you could think of is possible to the subconscious mind. But the subconscious mind only works based off of the programs that are placed in there. So pretty much anything that you experienced in your early childhood between the ages of 0 and 8 is in your subconscious mind, and that's where your early programs are based from. So in order to change those, and some of you guys are probably like, why do I want to change those? Well, think back to your early childhood. Maybe some of you guys had a great childhood. I know I had a really good childhood. There were some things that, it may not have been perfect, but I had a good childhood. But there were a lot of things there that, that didn't align with what I want for my life now. Like, for instance, money. The belief systems that were stored in me around money, they do not support what I am trying to create for my life now. So, I kind of grew up in a household that believed that, money was hard to come by, money don't grow on trees. I heard my parents say many times, or even family members say, oh, I don't got money for this, I don't got money for that. All of these things. So these are the type of programs that were stored in my mind around money. Now, there are many other programs that were stored around relationships and different things like that. I'm not going to get into that here, but I just wanted to give you an example. So in order to change the subconscious mind so that we can manifest the things that we want, we need to pretty much speak what we want to create and focus on what we want. So anything in repetition, the mind thinks is important. So if you constantly repeat the same statements over and over and over again, over a period of time, eventually the conscious mind is going to be like, okay, you know what? This must be important. And it's going to send it back to the subconscious mind. Now, this could take a while. And I do recommend doing this regardless of how long it takes, just because trying to keep yourself in a positive mindset and just speaking positively all the time is so important. Because honestly, it's not beneficial to speak things that you don't want, So if you're in the store and you feel like you don't have enough money for something, say something different. And instead of saying, I don't have enough money for this, say, I don't know how, but, somehow I'll get the money for it. Whatever. That's better than saying, I can't afford that, or telling your kids that you can't afford something, because then you're just giving those programs to your kids. So finding another positive way to go about saying things. And then throughout your day, just reminding yourself that, you are wealthy, you are healthy, things always work out in your favor. I have like a list of positive words that I speak to myself daily, just, driving in the car, whatever I'm doing, I'm just constantly thinking them and I'm speaking them. And then, another very powerful thing, which is even more powerful than speaking, although speaking is very powerful. Let me just go back again. Speaking, I have had things manifest instantly because I spoke them. It just depends on the belief and the energy that you have when you're speaking them. If you don't truly believe, it may take time. You may have to keep saying it over and over and over again before the belief builds. But if you can say something and truly believe it, it's going to happen instantly. And I have seen it happen so many times. Just depends. And it also has a lot to do with your vibration. If you're in a happy, positive mood, you're having a great day, and you start speaking positive things, you can see things happen pretty quickly. If you're in a lower vibrational frequency that day, but you're still speaking positively, you may not see those things happen that day or right away. It may happen later. Anyway, so the other technique that I wanted to share with you is extremely powerful, and it is reprogramming the subconscious mind while you sleep. So I usually go on YouTube and I just, download some reliable subliminal programs that I play through the night. And, if you go on YouTube, you can actually make it so that you can play multiple videos throughout the night. It'll just play back to back. So you can do 2 hours of a program to help with money, one to help with health, one to help with relationships, whatever it is that you're trying to reprogram for. Now, I'm sure a lot of you, especially anyone that has a Christian background, is saying, well, why does she sound like she's so focused on money? Well, let me remind you that we live in a system that is based around money. Okay, you can't work your entire life for money. You cannot live in a system that's based around money and not be focused on money. It's impossible. And anybody that says that, trying to do better money-wise is a bad thing, they are, I guess, leading themselves in the wrong direction. Because, it's not money that is the bad thing. What people do with money. And if people put money too high up on their priority list, like money's going to save them. Fact of the matter, it's not money that's going to save you. It's really the values that you hold. It's the learning, the growth, the development. Anybody that has a large amount of money, if somehow they lost it, they could get it back instantly just because of what they have in here. So I'm not saying that it's all about money. I'm saying that, if you want to reprogram your mind so that you're able to manifest money more quicker, this is probably, or more quickly, these are things that you can do to help you. And this also works for health. This works for relationships, attracting love. This works for anything. And believe it or not, we're always manifesting. We're never not in a state of manifestation. What you are experiencing right now the house that you live in, the car that you drive. Maybe you don't drive a car. Maybe you take the bus. Whatever you're doing right now, you are manifesting that reality. You are manifesting those circumstances in your life. Why? Because of the programs that you hold in your mind. Go back to how you were raised. Go back to your belief systems. Listen to how you talk. Listen to how you speak. These are all indicators and clues as to why you are where you are. And I feel like it was a little challenging for me in the beginning of this, you know, I guess you could say spiritual journey, because, you know, I had to really face myself. I had to face who I was, the beliefs that I had, and I was kind of in complete denial. Now I'm pretty open with myself, and I know that everything happening in my life is because of me. There's nothing that, you know, is happening in my life that's not me. I know, I tell you, if somebody, you know, flips me the bird, I know somehow I did something to manifest that. And I know there are some of you that may disagree, and that's okay. It's perfectly fine. But I feel like if you give other people control, then at that point, or if you blame stuff on other people, you have no control at that point. But if you put it on you, you can change you. Changing you is easy. Changing other people, it's impossible. You can't change other people. You can only ever change yourself. If you change you, then everything outside of you will change. And that is something that I have learned. Now back to the subconscious mind. So listening to the subliminal programming at nighttime, YouTube has a lot of free subliminal programming. It's great, and it's worked very well for me. And you want to use earphones. You don't have to use earphones, but I recommend earphones. I feel like it works a lot quicker, because then you don't have all the distractions outside. And if you're going to do this, I also recommend having, I like to have crystals, just because I feel like they help cleanse the area of any EMF. So I recommend like clear quartz, or maybe some sort of black obsidian, something like that. I usually put it next to my phone, because if I'm listening, or actually what would really help when I use the Bluetooth earphones, I would recommend those too. So you're gonna listen to those every night, and honestly, I'll probably do this for the rest of my life, but it's up to you. You can do it as often as you want, but you will notice a lot of progress happening in your life. Now, the other thing is the ego. The ego is going to constantly try to point out everything that's happening in your life right now. It's going to keep pointing out all of the things that are here now. But in order to create change, you have to focus on what it is that you want, not what you're seeing here now, not the, you know, maybe you don't like the house you live in, maybe you don't like the car you drive in. Try not to stay focused on that. Try to focus on what you want, the car that you want. Focus on the car that you want. Focus on, you know, what kind of house you want to live in. That's the kind of stuff that you want to focus on, instead of focusing on, oh, I hate my car, I hate my house, I hate my life, I don't like the. No, you don't want to stay focused on that, because that's going to create more of that. Where your focus goes, your energy flows. So listening to the programs at nighttime, playing them on repeat. If you're not comfortable listening to other people's subliminal affirmational programs, you can always record your own voice saying different affirmations, positive affirmations, affirmations like, you know, I am healthy, I am whole. You can also ask yourself questions. I like to ask myself questions like, why am I so wealthy? Why am I so smart? Why am I so brilliant? Why does everything work out in my favor? This is very helpful as well, because it gets your mind thinking. Believe it or not, our minds are manifesting everything in our life. And anybody that has a background in Christianity like I did, it was very hard for me to come to terms with this, because, you know, the church does not teach this stuff at all. But it's written all through the Bible. It's just coded in the Bible. Because you have to look back and remember that it was, I believe, the Council of Nicaea that had decided what books to keep in, what books to take out, and that also decided how to code the information. So it's all written there. What you put out, you get back. When you speak, when you think, how you feel, you always manifest that energy back to yourself. Always. So, you know, a lot of people are like, you know, I don't want to give, I don't want to do this, I don't want to do that. Okay, if you do something for somebody else, you're only helping yourself. If you donate money to homeless people, if you give money to charity, anything that you do, you're always helping yourself out, no matter what. Now, I don't recommend giving just to receive. You know, I recommend just giving because you really want to give. But you know, because that's on a higher frequency. But whatever you put out, you receive back. Now, okay, so another something else that you can do, now this requires more money, or it requires you to learn a skill. Learning how to hypnotize yourself and get into hypnosis and reprogram your mind that way. You can also obviously pay someone to you know, put you into hypnosis or teach you hypnosis techniques, and you know, reprogram the subconscious mind that way. There is also another, so children, when children are between the ages of 0 and 8, they're in a brain wave state called theta. This allows them to absorb information very quickly. So as we get older, we are no longer in that state. I believe that we fluctuate between, I don't know, delta, maybe beta, delta, beta, something like that. Anyway, now we are in a theta state, and it's usually when we're in between being awake and going to bed. So like right before you're about to fall asleep, during that time frame, you're laying in bed and you're, you know, you're feeling like, okay, I'm about to go to sleep. At that point, you are in theta. So if you can sit there and visualize the things that you want, maybe visualize the car, the house, maybe visualize yourself, you know, feeling healthy and whole. Maybe you can visualize yourself laughing and doing some sort of exercise or something like that. That time is very valuable, because I have seen myself manifest things the very next morning. You know, I do my visualization before I go to sleep. The next morning, miraculously, you know, I got a text message or a phone call saying, hey, this happened or that happened, or, you know, I see myself doing exactly what I see myself doing in my visualization before I went to sleep. So, you know, this technique is very powerful. So I hope this was helpful information. I hope it can help you out. If you have any questions, you can always inbox me. I am always open to answering any questions. I pretty much spend all my time studying these universal laws, studying how the mind works. I've kind of been obsessed with this for a very long time. Yeah, so I send lots of blessings of wealth, prosperity, abundance, happiness, health, and wholeness to you and your family. And until next time, see you later. Bye.